All right, today we're hitting lower chest, but to make sure we're on the same page, if your body fat is 20% and above, that's not a development issue. Those are tits. Now, don't get discouraged or frustrated because when I get too chubby, I get those too. For the most part, simple fix. Lock down your diet, drop that body fat, good to go. But today we're talking about developing that lower pack, getting more fullness, more size. So if you're ready, let's get after it. So the name of the game today is really making sure the most intense part of the contraction happens in the lower part of your chest. And to illustrate this, if you just stick your arm out straight and try to flex that chest, you'll notice the higher you go, the harder it is to engage that lower part of your pec, to a point when you go too high, you can't even flex it at all. So we just need to keep that in mind in everything we do today. And on top of that, any chance you get, I suggest holding onto that pec to make sure you're engaging properly. I know, you're gonna look like an asshole, but welcome to the club. One of the best ways to narrow down the contraction into the lower part of your chest is by setting up a cable directly to your side and doing a low cable crossover, but with a limited range of motion. Benefit there is it's a lot harder for those secondary muscles to jump in and take over the movement, and all you have to focus on is really tweaking your form and getting more out of the contraction. And the best ways to do that are by slowing down the contraction to a point where you're just flexing it across your body, making sure that your chest stops the contraction itself. You're not coming past that chest because then your anterior delt will jump in. And then also turning that wrist towards the ceiling as much as possible. That's going to drive your elbow in and contract that lower pack even more. So there's actually this phenomenal machine for lower chest development, but it's a fucking unicorn. I've seen it at 2 gyms my entire life because what it is a pec deck fly that keeps your elbow at a right angle the entire time, but instead of coming across your body, it actually comes down at that perfect angle to really hit that decline, that lower part of your chest. But good news is we can do the poor man version. So the way we're gonna do this is instead of grabbing onto the handle, you're just gonna wrap it around your body, set that handle right in your bicep, and make sure you're leading the contraction with your elbow. The hand doesn't do anything. All that pressure and the contraction actually comes from driving that elbow around. Now, a couple things to note on this. The first thing, you want to sit nice and far forward on that pad so you can lean back, create that perfect angle. Second thing, nice and light. 20 reps, you want to keep that shoulder nice and safe. And the third thing, I would do it unilaterally. That way you can really focus on the contraction, hold that chest like an asshole. So for those of you who are still stuck at home with no equipment whatsoever, this is a great way to target that lower chest. So to be able to do this push-up dip hybrid, all you need is a little bit of elevation, like your couch. And the key here is to make sure you keep that chest out in front, those shoulders stay back so those anterior delts don't eat the entire movement. So the way you're gonna do this is by stretching that chest at the bottom, exaggerating that stretch, and then as you drive up, you drive to the side, contract up, twist, and lead that chest to flex at the top. Now, I would do this unilaterally. You really focus on one side at a time so you get in a nice rhythm and make sure you keep that connection to that lower part of your chest. Hopefully that makes sense because that was a really shitty exercise to try to explain. I felt like I was telling you to do 75 things at once and try not to fart in public and just watch the... As always, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, which apparently got hit a few times. Leave a comment in the video on next. Get after it, get growing. Talk to you soon.